So, who's here using an Apple product? Hmm. Gotcha. I bet it is you. But today we are not review an Apple product. Instead, we talk about the big organizational change made by Apple. So, hello, my name is Siti Khadija binti Jupri. Hello, my name is Siti Amira Farzana binti Sufyan.
Hello everyone, my name is Cassandra Panditi Jasmine. Hello everyone, my name is Akila Binti Mashafi.
So everyone, Apple is a global technology company known for MacBook, iPhone, also iPad. But it is also offer a service such as iCloud and Apple Music. So we're focusing on his change made by Apple from Intel processors. They changed to their own chips called Apple Silicon. So this change affect an Apple product from how the product performance, how they operated, and how Apple strategies. So it is not just a technical change, but it is an organizational change too. Have you ever wondered why newer Apple gadgets are much faster and have longer battery life? Well, that's because Apple made a major changes by replacing its Intel processor with its own Apple Silicon chips, which is the M1, M2, and M3. This change is both a technological and strategic changes. It is a technological changes because Apple decides to make its own Apple Silicon chips, and it is a strategic changes because Apple also decided to make its own processors, giving the company greater control over innovation and product development. So, what triggered this change? First, competition in the technology industry was becoming more intense, and Apple needed to stay ahead by improving and innovating their own product. Second, Apple want to provide better performance and longer battery life, giving users a more reliable and efficient sources. Third, by creating its own chips, Apple could have greater control over its hardware and software, allowing devices to work seamlessly together. As a result, Apple successfully strengthened its competitive positions and improved the performance of its product.
By applying Lewis change model to Apple transition to Apple Silicon, we can see example of a perfectly planned and organizational shift. Organizational shift. So this process began with the unfreeze stage, which Apple had to break away from the status quo. For years, they relied on Intel processors, but they hit a wall. Intel's stagnant chip development was actively limiting the Apple's and delaying products roadmaps. Apple recognized that with their stake still was a massive risk, so they prepared the organization and the market for a major shakeout. Next came the change phase, which was the actual execution. Apple navigated this by launching their custom M-series chips. Now, a massive shift like this always triggers heavy restraining forces. Apple faced a huge transition risk, high developer training costs, and potential pushback from users worried about software compatibility. Apple focused on delivering the undeniable value. They rolled out Rosetta 2, which the software to make the transition seamless and delivered massive positive impacts, including the breathtaking speed, unprecedented battery efficiency, and the total control over their entire hardware and software ecosystem. Finally, the Apple entered to refresh stage. To solidify the transformation, they didn't just leave the new chips as an optional luxury. They completed the phase-out Intel processors over a 2 years window.
by embedding Apple Silicon as the unquestioned new standard across the entire Mac lineup. They anchor the change into a company's culture. Today, it is permanently the new organizational norm.
To maintain this momentum, Apple should focus on 3 things. First, continuous training. Because technology moves so fast, regular training ensures employees and developers can fully leverage Apple Silicon's evolving capabilities. Second, clear and transparent communication. Explaining the why behind the major changes build trust and aligns everyone from internal teams to end users. And finally, gradual transition. Phasing in massive shift over time gives people room to adapt, which naturally reduces resistance and prevent business disruption. With this recommendation in mind, let's move on the conclusion of our video. In short, Apple's shift away from Intel was a masterclass in successful organizational change. By taking control of its own shift, Apple dramatically boosts product performance, increased efficiency, and significantly strengthened its position in the global market. Ultimately, this test proved that long-term success isn't just about the technology. It is about careful planning, continuous learning, and strong change management. Thank you for watching.